Hi, welcome to ATW. I'm Pierre.
And I'm Jen.
Today we have two special guests from LLS.
Will Warren and Heather Hibbard are here with us today from the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. They have some special information that they're going to share with you, so stay tuned.
Today we have Will and Heather, our special guests.
Yes.
Will, tell us about yourself.
Sure. So I'm originally from Orange County. I live in Montgomery County, Texas, and I've been out there for about a year and a half. I work for PurePoint Financial. It's an online hybrid bank, and a big part of what we do is give back to the community, volunteer, and make sure our clients feel supported with their passions.
So is PurePoint Financial directly associated with LLS?
Yes, so
Okay.
we've supported LLS before in another capacity with the Light the Night fundraiser, and on this capacity with the Man and Woman of the Year, my involvement is connecting our organizations.
Okay, very cool.
Well, you involve yourself with so many charities. Why LLS?
LLS is a great organization. They've been around since 1949, and they've been raising funds towards cancer treatments and cures. So I feel like LLS is a great organization to connect with because they have a community. Since I've known LLS and the people that work with the organization, I've seen them impact people's lives and give everybody hope.
Okay. Will, your campaign Walk to Walk, what inspired that?
So Walk the Walk was an idea created by my campaign manager, Kelly Smith, and she came up with the idea that sometimes we talk about doing things in life, but we never follow through on that. Walk the Walk is actually giving of your time and sometimes your money and your ideas to your passions in life. And so for this situation, it's supporting those who are fighting cancer. A lot of what we do is in honor of people who are fighting cancer and also in memory of those we've lost.
Oh, wow. Okay, so personally, do you have any family members that have ever been impacted by leukemia or lymphoma?
I've never had a family member impacted by blood cancer. I lost my grandfather when I was 10 years old to pancreatic cancer. And the great thing about the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and the research they're funding is that research will eventually find a cure for tumor cancers also, and treatments, which they've already done work in that area. So my personal connection to cancer is deep. I have family members and friends who've also battled cancers, and I have friends in Texas that have actually battled blood cancer, and it's a very serious problem because there's no hereditary component, there's no environmental component. One day you could be diagnosed and you're not expecting it, so it's very frightening. And for anybody battling it, you just want to be there supporting them.
Yeah. Well, speaking of battling it, we have Heather Hibbard with us here today. And
Welcome,
she's a
Heather.
survivor.
Hi.
So nice to have you.
Thank you.
Tell us a little about yourself, about your story.
I was an active mother of 3. I worked a lot, and I felt perfectly healthy until about 2 weeks before diagnosis. And I started to get large bruises all over my body, and I ended up having excruciating bone pain, and I just became very pale.
Oh, wow.
And my heart was racing.
Now prior to this, what was your diet like?
My diet was great. I was very healthy. I would bring my lunch to work every day. I would make wise choices. I would have yogurt and blueberries for breakfast. I would have salads for lunch.
So super health conscious,
Super
from what
health
I
conscious.
understand,
Did
right?
you work out, Heather?
Oh yeah, I have 3 kids, so
That's a workout.
so I wasn't able to do my workout at home, but every day on my lunch break I would walk 2 miles.
Wow.
Yeah, so I would, and a mile uphill, and
That's
then
daily,
downhill
right?
daily.
Daily.
Mhm.
Plus having 3 kids,
Plus
that's
having
a
3
workout.
kids, that's a workout too.
yes.
Yes. And a lot of people say this. It comes on very suddenly. So all of a sudden you're very fatigued. You have trouble fighting illnesses, colds. You develop large bruises all over your body. You start to get pale because you don't have a lot of blood, and that's what happened to me.
Right.
So I went in to get blood work done, and then they saw that I didn't have any platelets, which is actually a very serious condition. Yeah, because you can bleed in your brain.
Right.
Yeah, so I went into the ER, and they saw cancer in my blood, and I didn't leave for a month.
Okay.
Tell our viewers that you're not a smoker.
Oh yeah.
You don't party.
Oh yeah. I've never smoked in my entire life. I've never been drunk in my life. I've led a very, very healthy life. I ate healthy, I exercised. It can happen to anybody.
Yeah. Emotionally, it has such a huge impact on the family, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
So, how did you get through that yourself? Mentally. physically you had to go in and obviously get all kinds of,
And your
treatment
kids.
and everything
Yeah.
else.
So the treatment for leukemia or AML, my type of leukemia, would be to go into the hospital for 30 days and have chemotherapy and stay there because they wipe out your immune system completely.
Wow.
So you can't come home. So I spent a year of my life away from my family. It was hard for everyone. It's mentally difficult as well as physically difficult.
Yeah.
And it's just all about your attitude, honestly. It really is. You have to stay positive. And I think my whole entire family stayed positive.
How did you stay positive?
So I actually had this amazing nurse. Her name was Denisha. And I didn't say, oh, poor me. I would say,
Good.
what if? Like,
Awesome.
oh, what if? No. I would say, what if this would happen? What if this happened? What if this doesn't work? And she said, Heather, you get 5 more minutes of this and then you need to knock that off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she said, that's all you get, 5 more minutes of these what ifs. And then she said, you need to tell yourself no. Physically out loud, tell yourself no. Anytime your mind went to that place where you started thinking about, oh, what if this doesn't work? What if,
Did you guys stay friends?
I do. I go back and see her. She was an ICU nurse, so my first round of treatment, I was in the ICU because I was so sick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so that's what I do, and that's what I do to this day. When my brain starts to go to those bad places,
When you go into a chemo,
Mm-hmm.
what was going through your head, Heather?
oh, I was just let's just get through this step. It was one day at a time. Let's do this day,
Yeah.
and then tomorrow we'll do that day, and then eventually 30 of them, and I'll get to come home
Yeah.
for 10 days.
You have your kids and your husband.
And then I would come home for 10 days, yeah, and then I would go right back in.
Talk to us about your diet during that time. You had mentioned that you were on a specific diet that they had you on.
Right, they
Yeah.
put you on a neutropenic diet, so it means you can't eat uncooked vegetables or fruit. So it was very limiting. I unfortunately ate a lot of grilled cheese sandwiches because you're like stuck eating the hospital food only. And I'm a vegetarian, so it was actually quite limited at the hospital. So when I was able to come home, that's when I could eat.
So you
those.
eat pretty healthy.
Yeah. So then I was able to get my salads back in, and
Right.
Yeah.
but it's hard because you struggle with loss of appetite.
Right.
So it's hard to want to eat and
Yeah.
when you go through treatment. So you
Yeah.
really have to keep up your weight.
As far as when you were eating and when you also had to have some bone marrow transplanted. Talk to us
did.
about that because you have a different. Tell us that story. That's
Yeah.
so cool. How
You
you
have
have
a
a
different type
Yeah,
of blood
DNA.
now?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So that first initial chemotherapy, that was very, very hard. I was very sick, and I didn't think I would make it through that. And then once I made it through that, then the end treatment was transplant. So what they do is they basically give you very, very strong chemotherapy and radiation to eliminate your bone marrow completely. And then they give you stem cells peripherally through an IV, and then those stem cells go into your bone marrow and repopulate with somebody else's kind of blood.
You didn't have to
amazing.
wait for the donation you didn't have to wait for the donor?
Oh, I did. Yeah, the donor, I waited 5 months. I went through 4 rounds of chemotherapy waiting for the stem cells to be ready. And they were flown from England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, to my bedside basically.
wow. So what do they look for specifically in that? Do they have to find some type of a match so that it fits your body
Yeah, so
specifically?
your body doesn't
Okay.
reject it, because
Okay.
that's a huge problem with transplant is that your body rejects the transplant, and either you don't engraft, meaning that the cells never take hold in the bone marrow and start repopulating and making all those blood products, or you get what's called graft versus host disease, and that's when your body and the transplant fight itself. So yeah, she was a perfect match for me.
Wow.
10 out of 10 match.
Prior to this, and still, you work in the medical field.
I do.
correct? Yeah.
I do.
Kaiser,
So-
correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm an ultrasound tech, so I scan little babies looking for genetic anomalies. That's what I do. So I've been out of work for about a year and a half, and I go back Monday.
Wow.
Wow,
So,
nice.
thank
Good.
you.
Yeah. How
Which
do
is-
you, I'm sorry.
No,
how
no.
do you feel every day?
How do I feel every day?
Yeah.
I try not to focus on anything negative. I just try to enjoy the day with my children and just kind of feel positive
Yeah.
about what I've been given.
Now tell us a little bit how people can donate. I know you're both involved in donations, and you're both candidates for Man and Woman of the
Right.
Year,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is very cool. But I know that there are, people can donate bone marrow, correct? They can do that ultimately.
Oh, they can,
if
yeah.
want
They can,
to. What other ways?
Do they have to register?
It's really important. A lot of different ethnicities don't have the people signing up for Be the Match,
Okay.
so they have less of a chance of finding a match. And so even though it's not LLS, it's Be the Match is very important. I was lucky because I'm Caucasian, and there's a lot of donors, and I had 5 matches for myself. But so it's just, that's one thing. That's a huge thing, is to sign up for Be the Match. But
So signing up for Be the Match, what do you do? Do you donate bone marrow? Do you donate blood?
Yeah.
What is it?
they will let you know what they need, but typically it's your stem cells, so
Okay.
which is taken out of your blood.
Okay.
So you register, they send you a kit, you swab, and then you just send it back.
Okay. And how intensive invasive is that when you do that? Do you know?
So if it's just the peripheral blood donation, then it is time consuming. You have to go down a lot and get tested, and I know the day of it's like an 8-hour kind of donation, but it's not a surgery.
Okay.
But some patients do need the actual bone marrow, and it's just,
Yeah.
how much do you want to give somebody a chance at life?
Exactly.
I was actually on the registry before, and they matched me to myself.
Oh.
But they're like, oh my goodness, this is great. Somebody your age, exactly, perfect, needs a bone marrow transplant. And I was like, oh, that's me.
Now, Will, talk to us about how they can donate financially.
Oh, sure.
from that
So
aspect.
through the Man and Woman of the Year campaign, through the LLS.org website, you can find our campaigns online, and you can donate via credit card. We also accept check and cash. The great thing about giving online is you can give $1, you can give greater than that.
Any
and also,
amount.
Any amount, correct. It's a 10-week campaign, so it's pretty fast, and we all have our specific goals. But giving is not just about money, it's about giving of your ideas. For our grand finale event, we're accepting silent auction donations. I've had friends back in Texas where they've donated their services, so they made a video for my campaign. So there's a lot of different ways people can give. A great thing to keep in mind is a lot of organizations these days, like mine included, they'll do a match. So if you give $100, your company could match 1 for 1.
Oh, right.
Okay.
And these donations are tax deductible too. So it's something to keep in mind. If somebody's already giving to a nonprofit or a passion of theirs, maybe this isn't the right passion, but maybe they have a family member or friend who this is their passion. So it's really connecting people with the passion of cancer research, and that's what we're looking for, is those connections.
Yeah, that's
How
good.
about you, Heather?
So I've sent out a lot of letters. I have more of a letter writing campaign where I send out my story, and actually a lot of people have been responding. I do also have the website where people can donate as well, which is really nice because then they do get that kind of tax receipt right away showing that they donated. But that's just
Any amount is welcome.
any amount is welcome, and I just kind of walk the roads and talk to people and share my story and hope that somebody connects. And a lot of people actually do have history with blood cancer and also, of course, other cancers, which blood cancer research helps to cure that as well. So.
Yeah. The funds, where are they? What are they allocated toward? What do they do? Research. Tell me about what they're working toward.
Research
in
and
the-
treatments.
Okay.
So about 79 cents of each dollar that is donated goes towards research.
Okay,
And since
great.
1949, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society has raised $1.3 billion towards research.
Great.
They also get a lot of FDA approvals for research and treatments. So I would say the Leukemia Lymphoma Society is leading the charge. There's a lot of other great organizations doing cancer research, but I would say the Leukemia Lymphoma Society is unique in how they do it, and they've been doing it for 70 years.
Wow.
So what I do have to say on that note, about 3 months before I was diagnosed, they, through LLS funding and research, they came out with an inhibitor for my type of leukemia, was actually improved my survival by 25%, and this was through LLS research
Wow,
and
that's
through
great.
people's donations, which helped bring about that research.
Yeah, that's really good. Now, typically, talk to us about, we talked before off camera about how your typical patient is normally an older gentleman, is what you were saying, so tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, so my health, or my age did help with my fight. Typically, it's older males, and I've met quite a few during my journey because we would have chemotherapy at the same time, and I've collected friends throughout the process, and most of them are kind of older males.
Older males that are impacted by leukemia.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what about children? Because children have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big. Is that a pretty big?
Sure.
Group?
So for our campaign in Montgomery County, we have a boy and a girl of the year. Those are our blood cancer survivors. So this year it's Crew and Kayla. And so with this campaign is in their honor, and they're at the events, and they're a big part of the community. So pediatric cancer is special to me. Actually, several months ago at an event in a local hospital, children's hospital in Texas, I saw children that had been impacted by blood cancer, and it kind of hit me. I don't have children. I have nieces and nephews, and I care for them dearly, but something about pediatric cancer is something very powerful for me. So I feel like giving children hope and adults hope is what it's about, and I think we're doing that.
Yeah, if you were to win the campaign, what are you going to do with that title? What does that title mean to you?
To me, the title just reflects the work that I have put in and my passion for this organization and what they do for patients, what they do for a community aspect, for helping fund cancer research, not only for blood cancer patients, but for all cancer patients.
Kayla, you're a survivor, so do you have anybody asking you questions? What should they do?
Actually, there's a community forum on the LLS website, and we all kind of come together and support each other and kind of lift each other up, because it is. I mean, some people are newly diagnosed and they don't know what to do, and then I can say, hey, I've been here, ask me questions, I can help you. So it's just basically my message is one day at a time, positive thinking.
How about you, Will? If you win?
Sure. So for me, the title Man of the Year would be very special. I think I'm already humbled by the title Candidate for Man of the Year, because that's a huge honor just to be a candidate. And there's pressure involved because you want to hit your goal, your fundraising goal, but it's really about having a platform to reduce and end suffering. And I think that's what this is about, is that no matter what happens, if I become Man of the Year for Montgomery County or not, is that I leverage my relationships, this community, to make a difference and to give anybody battling cancer or now or in the future. I mean, it's about showing love for people we know, but also about showing love for people we'll never meet, complete strangers. When people give to the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, they're helping people that maybe aren't even alive today. And that's where they can make a difference in the long term. So I just want to leverage this access, this community, and just keep giving back and be a part of this community going forward.
That's great.
Well, how long have you been involved with LLS?
So technically, I guess about a year now. We had our first event. Well, actually it was way sooner. October of 2017, we did Light the Night. We were a sponsor at the local event in Montgomery County. But before that, they got in touch with me and my organization, and we said, let's get involved, because part of what we're doing in my organization, it's called Inspiring Brighter Tomorrows. And we're focused on people's financial health, which is very important. But the idea of focusing on people's health is tantamount to everything. I mean, you have to look at people's health and say, how can we make a difference? How can we give back? And I think most organizations these days, they want to have healthy employees. They want to have a healthy team. They're investing in their team members, because if their team members aren't healthy, their organization won't grow.
Absolutely.
So I think going forward, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society will be a big part of our community outreach.
That's good. You were saying that, for Montgomery County, you keep referencing Montgomery County. We're in Orange County.
Correct.
So is there a man or woman of the year for every single county in the United States?
No.
Okay.
Good question. No, that's a great question. So Montgomery County, they started their Man and Women of the Year campaign last year. The Man and Women of the Year campaign has been around for about 30 years. And then LLS is 70 years old. So in Texas, I believe there's about 6 or 7 different campaigns, because Texas is a big state, and so is California. I think most U.S. states have a campaign, or they're going to have campaigns, so it's a growing concept. It's a great way for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society to raise funds, to connect with their communities, and also from a branding standpoint, because not all cities know about Leukemia Lymphoma Society. When these campaigns come into town, it really connects the community. And that's what I love about it, is that I've met people that I never would have met if it wasn't for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. I'm meeting Heather today, and I'm living 1,500 miles away, and we have a shared passion for this cause. So it's really connecting people that never would have been connected, connecting organizations that never would have known about each other, and it's all for a good cause.
Yeah, that's great. Now, I know here in Orange County we have Relay for Life. Do you guys have, is there anything like that the LLS supports, that type of you know.
We have team and training.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, we have team
Training's
and
a big
training,
one.
and then Light the Night, of course,
Okay.
which is I think it's a 2-mile walk.
Okay. What's team and training? Tell me about that.
So I can't. I don't know the exact specifics
Oh,
of
okay.
team and training because I'm not
Make
at
it
the
up,
point.
Heather.
And I'm not at the point where I know I can get on a bike. I can walk. I'm
Okay.
good with
Okay.
walking.
Okay.
But
So is it like a training program or
it's
a triathlon?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Where you-
And then what is Light the Night?
Light the Night is a walk, and everybody has lanterns. It's actually quite beautiful.
Oh,
so
okay.
there's white lanterns for survivors, red for supporters, and yellow or gold in honor of those who have passed.
What do you
So-
go to support that?
Pardon?
To be part of it.
Oh,
Part-
it's, so
part
it's,
of it.
it's kind of like a campaign,
Okay.
like what we're doing. It's actually starting already.
Okay.
And I think it for Orange County it ends in October.
Okay.
And I'll be part of that as well, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, you'll have to let us know.
Yeah,
That'd
right.
be
Yeah,
really
we'll be
cool.
there.
Yeah, so then it'll be like donations just like on the website,
Okay.
and you just kind of support the person walking, and then by doing that you support everybody who's affected by blood cancer,
Yeah.
because that's what we're doing is just raising money
Right.
to fight the fight.
Right. Have you been to anything like that?
So
Will?
we sponsored Light the Night in Montgomery County, the Woodlands, and then Houston has 2. So there's 2 Light the Night events in Houston in October, Houston area. That was one of the most powerful events for me when you see all the red, yellow, and gold lights, red, white, and gold lanterns, and it's like this moment of silence, and you're realizing everybody in this sea of lanterns has been impacted by cancer. So I would say that's an event I recommend as an individual
Yeah.
or corporate level, sponsorships, donors. That is a great event to get a feel for what the Leukemia Lymphoma Society does. Those great events are growing each year, and they've raised a lot of money towards a good cause. So Light the Night is an awesome event to get connected with too.
Yeah, it's powerful. It's a powerful visual, and when you see that there are very little white lanterns, the survivors, and a lot more red and gold, then you really see how blood cancer needs to be researched more.
Yeah, definitely a visual impact.
A visual.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How's your journey now?
My journey is good.
Good, yeah.
I'm still recovering from transplant.
Mhm.
I had my transplant about 8 months ago, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. It was.
I'm not saying, are you back to normal? Or?
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm still recovering. It's a long recovery process. I'm about 80% good enough to go back to work. So
Nice,
I'll be
yeah.
back to work on Monday, which is good. It's healthy for me to do that. Just have to watch because my immune system is not fully intact.
So you haven't walked every day yet? Have you started walking again?
Oh, I do walk. I have a dog, and I walk my dog every
Nice.
day.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
So
that's
I mean that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm not at the 2-mile uphill right now at this point in time, but I see myself back there. I'll still
Great.
walk on my lunch break. I know I will.
That's good. So ways that our viewers can help. We're going to go ahead and link something within the body of this interview that you guys can click on
And donate.
But tell us some different ways
Yeah.
that they can get a hold of you guys. You have social media or writing letters?
Heather
or
has
do you
a
have
website.
Right? I
Yeah.
have only the website. I don't have social media, but I
Yeah.
do have the website.
Okay.
So for me,
Willow?
Instagram and Facebook, so I have separate pages, and I'll give you those links. So if people want to follow us, we post material. We're going to post this video on our Facebook and Instagram page. Great way to connect nationally. It's a way I've connected with my family throughout the country, and people, complete strangers, have reached out to me and said thank you for doing this, because this is something that we can all make a difference in. We can all make a difference just by a $1 donation or just by, sharing something, sharing a social media post. It's getting the word out there.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here. At the end of our show, what we like to do, we like to play a little game with our guests and have them pick a stick. It's called
Okay.
Pick a Stick.
Okay.
And it's basically just a little bit of something about you as a person. And
Just want to
what
we
you
want to
like.
get to know you.
Your favorites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we'll start with you, Heather.
Okay.
No picking.
My favorite movie. Okay. So my favorite movie, probably Princess Bride.
Oh,
There you go.
my husband loves that.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Yeah. It's just
cool.
fun
It's
and
funny,
simple and hilarious.
And it's a love story.
Yeah, it's a love
it has
story.
everything.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
It really does.
Pirates and I don't know, brides
Yeah,
and
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, Will?
Okay, here we go. Okay, favorite actor. Well, honestly, got to show some respect to Orange County. My favorite actor is Will Ferrell. He's
Oh,
originally
okay.
from Irvine, and
Oh,
I grew up in
yeah.
Irvine,
Yeah.
He's just hilarious, and I think that's what we need in this whole world. We need a little more laughter.
Nice.
So every movie he's in, pretty much, he makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for viewing our show today and joining us in all the information that we were able to share and receive from Heather and Will.
Please donate. Everything helps. And please subscribe to ATW.
Until next time,
We hope all things work out for you.